Our Earth is thought to be more than 4 billion years old, but it's only 4 centuries ago that we humans started to perceive Earth as a planet, and soon we started to map our world. The first maps were not that much accurate, but the process was still called cartography. So cartography is the practice of making maps, and it is often referred to as mapping. As the tools to make maps got more sophisticated, maps also started to show the reality more accurately and in much more details. People loved maps and they keep doing more and more maps. And they would make maps of the terrain, they would make maps of their dwellings, their routes to the forest, and everything that would be interesting or useful to put on a map. However, this was still just mapping. There was no spatial analysis involved on that. So this was not geographic information system, there was no system involved. However, techniques to make maps evolved and things were happening in the 18th century. A physician named John Snow in 1854 decided to map the victims of cholera. So he came out with a map representing the places where the victims lived. Then he somehow overlaid that map with the map containing the water source locations. And he found out and noticed that there was a spatial connection between the places where the victims of cholera lived and the water source locations. He just found out that cholera was caused by contaminated water. This was the first use of GIS. So GIS is not simply the process of making maps. GIS is a system that manages spatial information, analyzes it, and renders the results into maps. 3D animations also, or into time series simulations depicting change over time. The use of GIS in the cholera case is probably the most basic use case of GIS. Later on, people started to draw spatial features into glass plates and overlay the plates on top of each other to draw out conclusions. And later on, these plates were replaced by plastic film with the advantages of being lighter and using less storage space. And eventually, digital mapping came out, and GIS was consequently transformed from a system maintained by hand to a system maintained by computers. And so the first complete geographic information system was implemented in 1960 in Canada. The system was called Canada Geographic Information System, or CGIS. And CGIS consisted of a computer program that would provide capabilities for storing spatial information and overlaying and measuring this spatial information. That GIS implementation served the Land Administration Office to successfully keep a record and manage land information throughout the country. Now in the data age, GIS has since come to influence nearly every sphere of spatial understanding and has helped define a new concept of geography. A GIS today is designed to capture, store, manipulate, analyze, manage and present all types of spatial or geographical data. Today, GIS is used for forest plantations, it's used to track disease outbreaks and to assess demographic changes, analyze voting tendencies, predict food shortages, and there are maps of immigrant remittances, obesity, climate change, and so on. So again, today the term GIS refers to a system where geographic information is stored in layers and integrated with geographic software programs so that spatial information can be created, stored, manipulated, analyzed, and visualized. So that was some background information you need to know about GIS, and more practical information for you in the next lectures.